straight away going towards that Jinx.
I mean, I was just about to say, it's like, yes, the Jinx is nice for light, but the Ryze, the big pick that was left open there for the side of LNG, they just decided not to go for it. So Jay going to be able to pick that one up here. You could go Ryze, Tahm, Kench, or even Ryze, Zhao here, and you've got yourself an incredible mid-jungle combo.
Yeah, for LGD, you might also just feel like you have to pick AD carry now, so then if LNG pick like AD carry support, you don't get pinched out the opposite way. It does still work if you pick Tahm Kench, but again, not going to want to get pinched on the AD carry pool. Pretty much sets up for what you need to go towards. And LNG with a very quick response. I want coming out with the Rakan, I think one of his best champions, and then Tarzan getting on the JinJiao. So a lot of early game pressure coming out from LNG so far. They have set up down in that bot side. Tarzan being able to follow up. Before LGD, I like you hit on the Ryze pick before because I think this has also been Jay's best pick. Jay's played it 3 times. He's 2-1 on the champion so far. Has the same win rate that Doinb does on the champion. So I think really nice takeaway. Sets him up well in terms of mid lane. And now you already see them start going back towards those mid lane bans that we were hitting on.
Yeah, again, he's just getting pinched. They're getting rid of those global pressures. The Galio now taken off the board, and it does feel like, yes, you got the better jungle matchup. You should be able to start banning away things like the Viego, maybe even the Volibear, if you so see it. There we go, Volibear going to be banned away, but I'm still a little bit worried here for LNG. They're going further and further down, and two of the, you know, the bigger, or one of the biggest kind of, you know, underperformers so far this split has been Ala, so he's going to have to pick blind into this matchup as well. So lots of question marks coming in for LNG in this draft. It's not a bad draft by any means, but it definitely feels like they've let certain things go.
And I think a lot's gonna kind of depend on.
Oh no, sorry, never mind. No. I got it wrong. I got it wrong. My bad. Go on.
So I'm actually a little bit surprised they take away the Akali here. Again, it has been one of his standout champions so far, but I feel like you'd feel pretty fine in that lane matchup for Jay. Now for Doinb being this champion pool, we kind of look at what he's played this split. I mean, the only thing that really stands out being things like the Ryze or Orianna are things you can gravitate towards. Obviously, a very good ball setup coming out from both JinJiao and Rakan. And now in terms of jungle for the side of LGD, the Hecarim still being left open, the Viego, I think those are really your two go-tos. They would give you either one, good skirmishing, right? You're going to be looking to play a lot around these 5v5s. They do opt into the Viego, so look to try and set up for the resets to come through. Now for LNG, you have to go towards those soul lanes. Blind pick for Ala, things like Graves being left open is, where my mind would go. Fortunately, we hit on, you have Victor, but then your comp would be pretty slow coming out from that mid lane. The team fights you're able to opt into. Karma's been something he's played once, but now they're going to go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say the Graves or even some kind of AD champion that top side makes a lot of sense here for the side of LNG with that Malphite ban coming in to stop a lot of the very bog standard, see AD champion, pick armor champion, as we wait to see now where LGD want to pick out their final ban or final pick into that top side. They know they'll be going up against the Jayce, and they're going to go into the Tryndamere. This is such a tough matchup here for Ala. This is going to be so difficult for him to get out of this laning phase.
I mean, heck, we saw this yesterday, right? We saw Wayward and the Shy, just what Tryndamere is able to do. Once you're at that level 6 mark, you're pretty much able to consistently look for the solo dives to shut him down. But for LNG, in their comp holistically, I think it's pretty straightforward. The range that you have, setting up these sieges, being able to dish out the poke on the opposing side, get on objective first, don't allow them to walk in. You win extended standoffs in terms of trying to push out mid-wave as a 5-man. So for LNG, a bit of a different style, a bit of a different look. And then for the side of LGD, a lot of side laning coming through, right? Getting that push with the Ryze, setting up the Tryndamere later on, and then being able to actively follow up. So both teams kind of flipping the script in terms of how they're going to play out this game.
Yeah, it really is just kind of a setup of two different kind of, comps right now as both teams really want to try and, well, specifically LNG want to try and forget that last game. LGD really running off of the high of it as we jump into game 2 of this best of 3. And for LNG, this is a pretty big moment right now for you. I got to admit, you're running out of series to kind of climb up that playoffs ladder. We look at the last remaining series. They play obviously today. They go up against EDG next week, and then they've got their final series against OMG, was delayed. So they have got themselves 2 playoff contenders after this series, and if you're coming off of a 2-0, that could be detrimental to your mental.
Yeah, I mean, the EDG one, no matter how EDG have looked, that one will be incredibly hard. And heck, again, if you're losing to LGD, then even OMG probably considered a favorite in a series up against you. But who knows, Sheen? Maybe they could turn it around. Again, Iwandi just coming back in onto the roster. The tools are there. You found comfortable matchups for members like Doinb in the mid lane. Your bot lane is set up. And then even if top lane is tough, hopefully Allah can pull through the years of experience, the years of, again, stomping a lot of premier top laners in the LPL to be able to take down Fearness this time.
Oh, we are going to jump on to the Rift. We do see pretty much bog standard for everybody across the board. The only one I was kind of interested in would have been the Karma runes of choice has gone with the Airy. So nothing too untoward. And of course, Jay actually going with the phase rush as well. I've noticed this as well with the Ryze. Ryze gets very fast with the phase rush. It's just something I've noticed recently as I've been playing a lot of him, that he gets very, very, like, more than I expect a phase rush Ryze to move, you know?
You know, phase rush was pretty OP for a long time, as in last year, for a reason. Still incredibly strong, as we have. I remember when phase rush got initially nerfed. It was towards the end of last year, where teams stopped picking it right away, but then instantly realized, like, hey, it's actually still not that bad. On a lot of champions, it works out. And then even on champions who can run more aggressive rune choices, you still do typically take phase rush when you have things like losing 2v2s, or you know you're going to be playing a lot around enemy jungle or playing for team fights. So do love me some good old phase rushes. When we look at the lanes, we've kind of already hit on, right? We expect some action to come on the top side, especially once we do hit that level 6 point. I think your other lanes will be a bit more tame for LNG. Maybe you could look towards the spot side with the fact that you have this Rakan setup. Will be quite hard post 6 once JinJiao has that Devour. And I mean, mid lane should be a wash, right? Karma not really looking to solo kill the Ryze on the opposing side. Ryze shouldn't find opportunities to do the same.
Just wait to see. Again, we could talk about it a million times, but the Jinx will always have push. Aphelios, and this is good pathing here from Shadow, recognizing that there was a ward on his Raptors. So, and he actually doesn't hit the wall either, so he doesn't give away his position with that mist coming around. As we do see the level 2 engage coming out here, as the heal has to come out from Eric. They trade back as Iwandi taking a lot of poke here. It is a trade of health bars. Eric definitely not the best of wear after that particular engage, and Iwandi will take that trade all day long.
I mean, even just summoner advantage coming your side, right? You blew one ignite and heal going down on the opposing side. You have resource advantage in terms of Eric having to burn all of his potions already. Shadow just hovering around. I understand, right? Being very scared that maybe Tarzan would have pivoted his path and try and set up for an early dive with how low Eric got chunked out. But Tarzan not going to go for that. Instead, just going to opt into the top side scuttle. Shadow going to answer on the opposing side as well. And I mean, so far, just all benefit for the side of LNG and their bot lane coming out. This is one of the benefits we talked about with Iwandi in terms of the stronger laning phase. Already finding quite a nice CS advantage.
Let's talk about where we want to see these kind of teams go. Like you said, it's a bit of a kind of a flip in terms of how we expected these teams to go in game 1. But where do you want to see LGD to put the pressure here onto LNG and vice versa as well?
I think for LGD, it is going to be a lot about enabling your top side. First few levels, you know, gonna get pushed in, gonna be a bit weak as we see Allah having pressure. Iwandi gonna go out and be fine. But yeah, for LGD, I think topside again, we're gonna see Tryndamere be able to find the pressure later on. For LNG, I actually think it's playing for your bot lane. Your bot lane's already found a bit of an advantage early on. They forced out the heal. You can look for repeat ganks. You can look to hover bot side, deny them waves. Even if you don't find kills, at least set Eric behind. As we see, Doinb's able to keep up constant pressure in the mid lane. He can hover down as well. And you can just look to make light this massive carry.
See if they're able to make it work. Gonna be a little bit of a recall coming out here now for the LNG bot side. They get the push in. Let's probably see a cull coming out here for light. Unless he has, maybe if he doesn't have enough money for the cull alongside the High Noon Quiver, he might just opt out of it just for the moment. But nonetheless, still having a pretty decent time of it in that bot side. We do see the Jayce with those extra abilities and extra harass he's always going to have. Going to be able to do a lot of work in these early levels. But like we said, it is that level 6 point here for LGD that is going to be ever so pivotal.
Realm Orb will be online. You'll have your Undying Rage for your Tryndamere Devour in the bot side, so that if you are playing up towards the top side, Eric has a lot of safety. So I think the map setup from LGD will make a lot of sense. And then when we hit on mid-game, right, pivoting towards those sides, trying to find picks with Fearness, Jay being able to hover over as well. and then hopefully using it to find picks to be able to force your ways onto objectives. But for LNG, I mean, if they can just keep the poke up that Doinb's been able to find in this mid lane matchup, once we get to the team portion of the game, poking them off objectives, then LNG will be feeling really good. Man, Doinb stopping his recall once again.
Trying to be an absolute nuisance. You have got a lot of multiple ability champions in their, what was it, in the 3-6 level, of course, with Jayce and Karma. So you have a lot of early game priority. Now, Shadow and JinJiao just hovering towards this mid lane, making sure nothing happens to Jade as he comes back in with his Tear and his Dark Seal. We are going to see, though, Fearness with that level 6 straight away saying, look, I'm back now and I can go fight and toe-to-toe with you, as Doinb is in a lot of trouble right now. The Realm Orb comes out, but they only use it just to scare him away, and that's going to be the flash broken here for Doinb.
Both teams finding prio through different areas. You see LGD forcing their way through mid, which opens up them to get on top of Doinb. So for LNG, they're trying to play and get pressure through bot. Eric playing pretty respectfully close to his tower, so not able to be taken advantage of. It looks like a potential dive coming out.
Yeah, they're going to try and make it work, as Ala now going to be caught between a rock and a hard place. He does get stunned up, rooted down. They're going to have to try and flash away from him, but Fearness, not to be outdone, has got himself his ultimate. He's trying to run this one down, doesn't have Ghost, waiting for the spin to win. He's going to run out of his Fearness. No! No!
Oh my God.
He overextended it. Not only do you get a kill on top side, you also get the Dragon. LNG perfectly positioned to capitalize completely.
It's so tragic as well, because I think there was a point in his mind where he realized, I am absolutely screwed, but it was a point of no return already. It's like, well, I'm going to die. I've already taken so many of these turret shots. I might as well keep going. Even if he tries to pivot, let's say, through the side and get away, I mean, at that point, all I can just turn around and accelerate shock blast. So, Fearness way overcommitting for that kill. Could have just looked to deny him some more CS. We're going to get a replay of it as we see Shadow coming in. Everything looks so well, especially when Shadow finds the stun here. I thought they'd be able to pull it off. Fearness keeps going forward, but a really nice knockback coming from Ala to make sure that doesn't happen. And I think this was the point of no return, where he's like, well, I'm screwed no matter what. I might as well just E in and try and find it once again. Even if he started to back away, right, Ala maybe just being able to tether him on the edge of his range and still be able to find it. Isn't able to do it. And that is not what you want to see coming out as a Tryndamere against a Jayce.
Definitely not the best of situations. Why you need to kind of take that summoner spell Ghost to make this work. You need to be able to run people down. The phase rush doing so much there for Ala to keep him alive and well. Gets himself a kill. He is still equal on CS, but he's going to be pretty damn happy with that, considering, like you said, LGD, they want to try and play through that top side, give their top side carries the time of day to make things work for themselves. And sadly, that's not how you want to be doing it.
No, and now for LNG, right, they have a lot of control towards this top side of the map. Both teams kind of fighting for vision right now. Looks like LNG going to finally start being able to clear away some decisions from LNG, but I definitely feel like LNG a bit stronger in these top side 2v2s and 3v3s right now. So Fearness and Shadow going to have to pay some respect. They don't feel all too confident to look for this one just yet. And I wonder if LGD are actually going to send their bot lane up or just commit to getting more gold onto Eric, because they have been able to keep in some push over the past few waves.
Dragon taken as well. Going to be 2 minutes for that next. Dragon spawns. We are going to see LGD hovering around this top side. But Tarzan not to be outdone just yet. We'll see if he can maybe make a bit of a nuisance of himself as the bot lane of LNG now starts to roam up. They got pushing that bot side, so they know they have the priority. It's a standard push-pull setup. They know they've got themselves a position where they can basically contest around this Rift Herald, and there's very, very little things that LGD can do unless they find a very creative entrance into this river.
Yeah, I mean, especially when LNG have 5 members topside, this would be pretty rough for them. And heck, they're still gonna look for this engage.
They're gonna look for it. I want to just go in there with the grand entrance to try and maybe make something work. As Doinb now trying to play keep away with Jay, but they get them spell fluxes going off. They're gonna go flash in, land the CC down. They're gonna try and heartbreak him in as Doinb is still very, very healthy, and they finally get him down. Viego though cannot get the reset, and the Tahm Kench follows afterwards. 2 kills for Light, and LGD again very, very overextended.
And for LGD, you find the 1 kill, you keep going. Iwandi, beautiful knock-up to set up for Light to be able to clean up those kills. At the same time, we already hit on how Tarzan picked up the Rift Herald. You don't lose anything in your bottom side jungle. You picked up more kills. And, you know, I'm going to foreshadow a potential 3-game series here. So we see Iwandi go in. They're trying to find this. I'm a little bit surprised in their confidence, considering that this is only a 3v3. And if anything, Eric being closer to the action, they go to turn it around with Jay consistently following up. Nice flash stun coming out from Shadow. Light flashed it, which set up for Doinb to go down. But then right here, the W coming out from Iwandi instantly pivots it into the quickness with the fact that he did just hit 6. And yeah, LNG, really great turnaround. 2-0 Jinx so far.
Jinx, you've won Jayce, you're just sitting pretty if you're LNG.
A 0-1 Karma.
Yeah, 0-0-2 Rakan, 0-0-0's in Zhao. I just like saying numbers, what can I say? As LNG, they, can't believe you called me out like that. How dare you? How dare you call me out on my filler words and things I use to give me time before I figure out what I want to say?
Whoa. I wasn't calling you out. I was more low-key just being like, ha ha ha, doing the on Karma. But, point is, you know what? I'll take it. I called you out. Yep.
I was like, don't even try and backtrack this. You just called me out. We all have our own little tips and tricks. Stop saying,
you know what?
Ah.
Oh, well, those are my only tips and tricks. Is Doinb not going to get stunned? And you know what? Here's a tip. Look at Jay clear those minions, clearing them so aggressive. The minions going down.
And I wonder he might be dead here. There's going to be the Moonlight Vigil to lock him up just a little bit more, but he's got himself the Battle Dance, and now LNG saying, hey, we've seen this song and dance before. You're a little bit overextended here, buddies, and now you don't have any of those massive ultimates like the Moonlight Vigil or the Heartbreaker for this Dragon fight. Again, LGD just not really respecting where they can get their advantages, and LNG are taking all of these advantages with open arms.
And now for LGD, it's going to be about pivoting up towards the top side. I would suggest Jay to push this one in. You just hover up. Go into Fog of War. He should spot that ward there, so going to clear that one out. Maybe take the Scuttle Crab. And I really want to see them start trying to get this Tryndamere into the game. Eclipse picked up for Ala. He's so strong right now. He's just been consistently pushing in that top wave. Tarzan having this Herald on the opposite side. Looks like they're going to look to funnel more gold into light. And you're getting an easy time up in top side. You're enabling your bot lane. Both sides of the map being catered to towards the side of LNG.
Start there, or a good attempt, I should say, is Fearness now going toe-to-toe with Ala, but with the phase rush and the knockback, should be totally fine to keep going in this very much never-ending battle. But Jay wants to make it a little bit of an unfair one right now. Both flashes available for the top laners, but no flash for Jay as they get in. They're going to use the TP here. That's going to be Doinb joining in on top of the fray. The shock blast does not land, and now he's going to get to have a massive shield going on top of him. The flash in. Jay says, I'm out of here. Never mind. He just walks away as Fearness, without his undying rage, is going to be feeling pretty mad about this one. Give it over to Iwandi. Oh, I thought he was going to gift it for a second there, but no, just securing it with the extra little bit of assist gold. LNG gladly taking all of these advantages. LGD just can't find anything.
And for LGD, right, I feel like the second you see the TP come out, it's just so obvious to look for the walk away. They thought they had enough damage to burst him out in time. They didn't. Doinb gets in, provides the shield. You see another knockback come out from him, and yeah, you've now set Ala up to be massive. And I think even more problematic, it's not Ala being big, it's the fact that Fearness has not been able to find a way into the game, still not having his mythic compared to Ala on the opposing side, who even able to upgrade to tier 2 boots.
Yep, this is a pretty desperate situation here for LNG, or LGD, I should say. But I will say they do get themselves a trade on the bot side, so Eric getting a lot of PvE options available to him. And he's going to be feeling pretty good about getting his first item and a half. We got about 3 minutes until the next dragon spawns, so no real reason there. And despite all these kills going over the side of LNG, it is still only about a 1,500 gold lead, so LGD not out of it just yet. And they have some pretty decent scaling, but I will say, Tryndamere counter pick hasn't been doing the best.
No, they haven't found a window to be able to get it into the game. They've tried, so, you know, props to LGD for that one. It seems like they knew why they drafted this pick and how they wanted to play around it. Both times, though, was kind of just over-aggression coming from their side, right? We think of the earlier... Both were dives. The first one was pretty much a dive all the way to the inhibitor turret, and we saw what happened on our screens just now. Fearness finally picking up his Hullbreaker, so is going to be able to get a bit more strength. Ala hasn't really opted into the 1v1s, though. He has paid a lot of respect and just waited for his teammates to come, or just looking to take advantage of when the over-aggression has come on board.
I like how Fearness just throws up the chicken and is like, go on, get out of here. And Allies was like, I don't care. I'm just going to take some more poke damage onto this turret. But now, LGD moving forward up towards this top side, trying to see if they can make something work onto this top tier or tier 1 tower. They should, in theory, be able to continue their aggression and trade back tower for tower as the rest of LNG finally walk themselves over to the side. Jay is putting some decent damage down, but still only sitting on the components of his Everfrost, not quite able to be in a position to make it work for him. As Fearness doesn't land the spin to win and gets knocked back, he is starting to lose this matchup so badly. And Jay, now between a rock and a hard place, he flashes away, but Tarzan's now on top of him with the win becomes lightning. No audacious charge to follow it back up, but it does feel like LGD are just going to start losing out all across the map. And again, Allah's fearless right now. He's got the Eclipse. He knows he can do so much here. As Light finally gets caught out, they finally find an opportunity. But LNG, though, still there to help out their AD carry. And LGD, I like that they're trying to find something. They're desperately looking around the map, but it's just not quite able to, make it stick.
I mean, at this point, right, I think it's very hard for you to be able to force him into comp. You don't really have any set engage coming anyway, right? You have Abyssal Dive coming out from JinJiao. Shadow, we've seen a few times go for, flash, utilizes W, stun people down, but single target CC coming out there. So I think it makes it very hard to force into LNG, and even LNG's comp. They welcome you to force into them. Iwandi can very easily just pop the Quickness or W, then be able to E away. You have the Mantra E coming out from Doinb to make it so you're able to kite out. And in that side lane matchup, I actually think it's so important, something that you hit on earlier, the fact that Fearness doesn't have that ghost. Because whenever Fearness flashes down, as all hey, he's not able to run me down. I can hit him 3 times, proc phase rush, knock him away, and then I'll be able to get out, have won that short trade, and what can you do?
Not a lot is the answer to that, as LNG will pick themselves up the Cloud Soul point. They're trading it, though, for second Shelly. Shelly the second. LNG start to just ramp up this game, and look, this is a much more composed LNG coming out compared to Game 1. Game 1 was LGD putting them on the back foot, keeping them very much, unsure as to where was safe, where was not. But now LNG, they've got themselves a couple of advantages. They've got themselves a couple of winning lanes, and it just means that LGD just can't keep pace.
No, and LNG just be able to keep powering this one forward, being on... Oh, wait, a big engage!
Big engage. You use the Moonlight Vigilance. There's the accelerated Shock Blast alongside the Super Mega Death Rocket. JinJiao does not have a ways to go, and he's going to be taken out by Light as well, and you're going to be able to push in so much of this. It's not even time for Baron yet. You're going to get so much more of an advantage off this. You can rotate bot, you can rotate the top. The world is your oyster.
And it looks like LNG going to head towards that bottom side. You're going to be able to take away a blue buff as well. Push this wave and shouldn't be able to get too much more with that timer still being short, because we are still only not even 20 minutes into the game. Not going to be able to get too much off of the push, but same item advantages we started to see last game for the side of LGD coming in for LNG at this point. We're going to go straight into the replay here. Eric going in to find some damage. Moonlight Vigil comes out, but Iwandi quickly showing up in the shield as well to make sure that Light doesn't go down too far. Beautiful Super Mega Death Rock to be able to finish off that kill, and then Light is continuing to push forward to put the damage off. And something about Doinb's karma, right, is the fact that it goes for the Moonstone Renewer as compared to the Shirelias, but we can't talk about items machine.
No, we cannot. We got to look into a fight straight away. We are going to see them take out Jay, and now with the Heartbreaker over the wall, Shadow trying to run the best he can to make sure he keeps himself alive. LNG finally getting themselves into a position where they're just running the map the way they want it. 4,500 gold lead as LGD just can't find a break. And JinJiao, you've no flash, buddy. You've nowhere to go. And you're going to be going down pretty damn quick. Tarzan now 2-0-0. I'd like to talk about those numbers earlier on in the day. And LNG, they're just going to be able to run around. They can't even take Baron. It's 30 seconds till it spawns.
So, here's what we see happen. I feel like it happens almost every time, right? You have both teams stomp each other in Game 1 and Game 2. Tons of aggression. Both teams going in. Action-packed bangers. And then Game 3 comes around. Very tempered. Calculated. No mistakes anywhere. 45-minute game. So there you go. I just broke it to you what we could expect from this game and next game.
I don't want that next game. I don't like this timeline. I don't want that to be the thing, but yeah, it does feel like it's going to be 2 stomps and a a third game as we come into LNG versus LGD. And this is good from LNG, though. We talked about how game 1 was just not good enough whatsoever, and this feels a little bit more comfortable from Doinb on the Karma. Feels like he's able to make a little bit more of an impact, the defensive TPs. I will say that LGD have very much set them up for success. As we can see, Shadow forced the flash away. He has his Heartbreaker available, but just about. Yeah, again, this is just feeling like it's LNG having a little bit more comfort on their champions, feeling a little bit stronger with it. And I gotta say, Iwandi coming back into the squad has looked pretty decent, has looked pretty good on this Rakan. I need to see him maybe a little bit more to make a full decision on it, but so far so good there for the bot lane support.
We've pretty much seen who comes in and has prio is just able to win out. For LGD, right, we hadn't hit the point where Fearness had started winning in the matchup yet and then would have had a lane of pressure, and they pretty much threw that away from early on. As JinJiao might go down. Doesn't have flash.
Nope, doesn't have flash. Has got himself the thick skin to keep himself alive, but Shadow not so lucky. He's not a big old catfish, and with 21 minutes on the scoreboard, we are looking at inhibitor turrets being pressured. Fearness off to the side lane. He went the whole breaker build, so he is just not going to be in any way, shape, or form useful in a teamfight situation. He has to be on bot side.
And I even think it's the right call coming out from LGD, because with the advantages they found, I mean, in 5v5s, LNG's 4-man core had an advantage into yours regardless. Even the 5v5, they do great with Ola just being able to put off so much, you know, consistent poke to Aphelios and Tahm Kench. So it's like, hey, even if they were ahead, I would opt them to play around side, so I'm glad they're opting into Fearness, just keeping this push up. And just looking at the drafts, right, I really like LNG with the Jinx, with the Karma, the Jayce coming out against Aphelios, Tahm Kench. It was talked about all last year about just outranging the Aphelios. And even Tahm Kench, a lot of these champions super good into him with no real way to respond. And again, not the greatest engage coming out from that Abyssal dive. I think it works really well when you have it something to combo with. But for LGD side, they really do not.
At the moment, LGD, they're going to look to try and flip this Baron. Honestly, I think this is the best call you've got right now. You know that the Dragon Soul is being taken. You got to go for some kind of a flip, but they're not really committing to it either way, and just kind of lose out on everything. I honestly would have loved them to go for the full flip.
I agree. Go for the full flip. Let them chunk you out while you're hitting the Baron, and then guess what? When you lose the team fight, you just got to game 3 faster, so it's totally fine. But point is,
I was gonna
LNG
say, it doesn't change
anything. It changes nothing. It changes the viewing experience.
Now I'm all about entertainment. As the base is finally cracked open at 23 minutes into the game, the Moonlight Vigil still available here for Eric. He finally hits onto his second item. The inhibitor has been felled, as Ala is now prepping this bot side turret as they finally take down the final outer tower. And this is going to be LGD's last stand, as the Moonlight Vigil does do some decent damage. Fearness trying to come in here, but he gets chunked out almost immediately, having to pop the Undying Rage. And over the wall and far away, this Jinx shall come to play. And putting down so much damage is light, and this is just going to be a very simple walk back. Yes, you haven't lost any members just yet, LGD, but you can't defend.
No, they can't defend. LNG just going to keep trading their way through. But look at the minimap. Fearness going with a huge TP flank.
Okay, Jay's in the middle of everybody as they're going to try and make this miracle play work. They use the Devour to try and keep him alive as Fearness finally gets himself on the backside of this. As Iwandi is just about alive, but you know who isn't? Light, as he loses both of his summoners, and the rest of LNG are starting to run away. Fearness trying to see if he can make something work here as Doinb does not have flash, was left to die by his team. That's going to be 2 kills going back over to LGD, but don't gain anything from it. They just get 2 kills.
Before, this was not your blue buff. Now,
I knew
this
you were
is your blue buff. This is your
well.
blue buff once again. There you go.
I mean, do they go for Baron? It looks like they're going to try and go for it, actually. They've still got a couple of seconds left on Light and 20 until Doinb comes back into this, so they know that they can maybe try and just go for it. They have to go for this. Shadow has absolutely no HP, has to smite early just to keep himself alive, and now the rest of LNG can come in. Doinb shall be up in about 7 seconds, and now this fight can really happen. Tarzan has not left the battlefield as this poke comes in. The accelerated shock blast, and they get the kill on top of the Aphelios. The Undying Rage means that JinJiao is dead. The Viego isn't here. He's already used his smite to keep himself alive. Shadow gets the red buff as a double kill, and the Baron goes over to LNG. Triple double as we come in. I don't even know who ended up getting that last kill, but LNG get the Baron. LGD went out swinging.
Yeah, I mean, even the minions just finishing the game. They know it's time for this to end. LNG were pissed off after game 1. Light Iwandi coming out with great performances in this game too.
5.5 minutes come in. LNG get themselves the victory they were probably expecting in game 1. You can see they know they still have a job to do. It brings us to a third game. They've got some more work to have to set themselves up for, but it keeps them in this series, and it means that they're